да, вот в той туче только что вот так, вот так прям взрыв, вот так.
Photos of the aftermath of the explosion at the Plastmas artillery shell and explosives factory have appeared online. The images, published by the Telegram channel Supernova Plus, show that the production facility has been completely destroyed. Scattered remnants of ammunition and detonators can be seen near the epicenter of the explosion. As a reminder, the explosion at the plant occurred on the evening of October 22nd in Kopaysk, a suburb of Chelyabinsk. The exact cause of the explosion at the plant is currently unknown, but an air raid alert was declared in the region after the incident. The plant is located approximately 1,800 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. There are 12 known fatalities, 10 missing persons, and 7 injured employees. Local chat rooms report that the number of victims may be significantly higher. According to data from the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, the Plastmas factory specializes in the production, repair, and disposal of ammunition for field, naval, anti-aircraft, and tank artillery. The enterprise also manufactures 82mm and 120mm mortar rounds, 100mm high explosive and cumulative shells, 125mm and 152mm shells for launchers, tank guns, and self-propelled howitzers, as well as unguided S-8 aircraft missiles. The plant is part of the NPK Techmash holding company, which is managed by Techno-Dynamica JSC, a subsidiary of the Rostec State Corporation. We remind you that on the night of Thursday, October 23rd, a series of explosions were heard in Ryazan, Russia. Local residents reported a drone attack. Witnesses claim to have heard about 10 explosions and seen flashes in the sky. After that, a fire broke out in the area of the oil refinery. And a detailed account of events by a typical resident of Chelyabinsk.
Ну да, вот в той туче только что вот так. Вот так прям взрыв. Вот так.
It's worth going into a defensive position and preparing your units for an offensive, providing them with everything they need. Most, if not all, of the casualties seen in the video are likely to have been caused by Ukrainian drones, highlighting the extreme danger that troops of both sides face in moving between positions while under constant drone surveillance. Russia's adoption of infiltration tactics is described by Jack Watling in Emergent Approaches to Combined Arms Maneuver in Ukraine, his latest paper for RUSY_org. He describes how Russian soldiers attempt to conceal themselves from drones. Russian units endeavor to infiltrate personnel close to Ukrainian positions. Russian soldiers usually infiltrate in groups of 2 to 5 Russian personnel, using thermal sheeting or tents that they hold away from their bodies with handles. The soldiers hang a radio around their necks and a torch between their legs to see their feet. The command post directs them, tracking their movement by UAV, to guide them to the position where they are expected to nest. Soldiers carry several days of supplies with them and may, depending on the conditions, be resupplied by UAV. Infiltration serves several purposes, as Jack describes: reconnoitering Ukrainian positions and testing their strength, building up manpower near Ukrainian positions to disrupt their resupply and ability to provide mutual support, forcing Ukrainian drone pilots to scour the positions in front of their lines, making it easier for the Russians to locate and attack the pilots and equipment. Once an infiltration has been deemed successful, and particularly if bad weather is hampering drone flights, larger Russian groups go in using buggies, motorbikes, and sometimes armored vehicles to seize terrain and use fires to prevent counterattack. DSHRG Rusich's complaints about the lack of support for the infiltrators reflect Jack's assessment that Russia's inability to support infantry, and indeed lack of interest in doing so, means that it fails to exploit the conditions it creates and thereby systemically underperforms its military potential relative to the means it applies on any given axis. The result is as seen in this and other videos. Lacking support, many infiltrators die en route and follow-up attacks often fail. Russia does still manage to move forward in places, but very slowly and at the cost of a huge number of its soldiers' lives. Russia has become increasingly dependent on infantry to make progress, while it systematically degrades its infantry through undertraining and a casual disregard for the life of its personnel, limiting the accumulation of experience and camaraderie within units. Lithuania's army reported on Thursday that 2 Russian military aircraft had crossed the Lithuanian border, remaining in the NATO member state's airspace for 18 seconds. The aircraft, a fighter jet and a tanker, flew 700 meters, nearly half a mile, into Lithuania from the Kaliningrad region. The Lithuanian Air Force detected the Russian Su-30 and Il-78 aircraft near Kybartai. 2 Spanish Air Force Eurofighters were scrambled in response to the incursion. Lithuanian President Gitanas Nausėda called the move a blatant breach of international law and territorial integrity of Lithuania, in a post on X that said it confirms the importance of strengthening European air defense readiness. Nausėda's post also noted that Vilnius's foreign ministry would summon Russian embassy representatives to protest Russia's reckless and dangerous behavior. The Russia's Ministry of Defense on Thursday confirmed that its planes were in the air but denied they had entered Lithuanian airspace, albeit without mentioning the Baltic nation by name. In a statement on Telegram, the ministry said, Su-30 fighters carried out a planned training flight over Russia's Baltic Kaliningrad region and violated no borders of other countries. The flights took place in strict observance of the rules of using airspace over the territory of the Russian Federation, did not deviate from their flight route, and did not violate the borders of other states, which was confirmed by objective control means, the statement continued.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. He's doing the job every day.